Exactly. That's been my whole criticism. He don't. I know about it, man. That boy, he killed me, man.
I talked to Lee McNabb too. I was looking at hard, man.
Season 3, Debate with Bake Sports Show. We coming live from the Mo. You know how we go. We talking basketball, football, and boxing. You got something to say, man? Jump up in them comments. We gon' keep it real with opinions and facts. Let's look at the stats. Well, that settles that. It ain't no hating. We just debating, interviewing guests so we can learn how they operating. Give you our perspective in a way that's captivating. Another sports show to put in your rotation. See, Bake choose the topics, everybody looking. Laro got the commentary and he keep it cooking. Cole with the game, he coming live from Brooklyn. You know, it's the most serious production. We giving game free, so tap in and see. Season 3, DWB, MSC.
What up? What up? Welcome back. Welcome back, man. It is hard to follow that intro, Chuck. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition. That's right, episode 3, season 3 of Debate, DWB, as we refer to it. We are back at it, man. The Sports Center of MoSerious.com, brought to you by the Mo Serious family. Shout out to the other acts on the Mo Serious family. Mo City Podcast, Guns Down, Gloves Up, with Mr. Johnny Binder and Dr. Candace Matthews. Got to say what's up to my fellow label men and women. And got to say what's up to my man Chuck for making it happen again. That fire intro. Chuck, I just cannot get past that intro, man. But we back at it. The Sports Center of MoSerious.com. Check us out on MoSerious.com. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to get on the chat with us. Get in with us. You know, comment, get on the website, comment, send us things. Let's talk about topics, man. I am your host. I am the man with the pan. Debate with Bake. That's right. That's my name. C. Bake, a.k.a. Charles Baker. But on this podcast, I am known as the man Debate with Bake. I am the king of debates. But I ain't gonna brag too much, man. We excited, man. We moving in the right direction. Shout out to Chuck and the Mo Serious family. Check us out on MoSerious.com. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe on DWB Debate with Bake podcast. So let's get into it, man. I always got my panel. That's right. My co-hosts, man. I love them. They always here. They always challenging. They always bring up good points, and we have great debates. I will put my debate team along with Chuck against any other podcast. In fact, I'm putting the invitation out right now. Anybody else that want to debate us from ESPN all the way down to the Chitlin circuit, we are ready at DWB to come on and debate you about this sports. But let's go all the way from Mo City, Houston, Texas, up to the boroughs, to my man, my sidekick, my co-host. As you can see, he's pointing to the hat. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about those guys. We're going to talk about the New York Knickerbockers. Yes, sir. We're going all the way to the boroughs. What's up, Cole? You should be excited as usual. You should be excited. New York should be on fire right now. But what's going on with you, Cole?
It is an understatement. Not only did we get cat this weekend, but my Mets clinched this afternoon, man. So we got both Yankees and the Mets in the playoffs. The Knicks just made a huge trade. We play on Sunday, the Knicks. Oh man, the Mets play tomorrow. Is this gonna be amazing sports fall this fall, man?
Now here's the funny part. The funny part about that is being that y'all are the largest city in the United States, we will acknowledge that y'all always have two teams, so y'all can go back and forth as a fan base. That's an advantage. I'm not gonna knock you, but see, you never said anything about the Jets, and I know the Jets is really your team. So have you given up on the Gang Green?
No, I haven't given up on the Jets. I will say this though. Once we get to game 10, if we ain't at least 7-3 or 6-4, blow it up, get rid of A-Rod. We ain't winning no chip. Like, why waste money on this old dude, man? Let him go, send him to Miami or something. Let him win a chip in Miami.
Let him go down there and retire with it.
Yeah. He could win a chip with
the elderly population, Cole. Man, that's pretty cool.
Or he could sign on with Tyreek. He would do his thing with Tyreek. So
that's right, because you know what? Tua does get a lot of concussions, man. That might not be a bad idea. Shoot, I don't know if the Jets will send him down to Miami. That's a Division 4.
Or
But
first pick, please.
the basically the excitement should be reigning in New York. We're gonna talk about that big blockbuster trade that's in our current news, which we'll get to later. But let's come back down. We already went to the boroughs. We left Mo City and we back down here, back in Mo City, and we back actually in the tray to my co-host, my other co-host who've been bringing the fire. Laro Roski, what's going on, Ro? What's going on with you, man? I see you with the Nike Toronto Vince Carter jersey. You know what I'm saying? That might be. Is that the highlight of his career? Do you think that's the best part of his career at Toronto, Ro?
Maybe. I like the New Jersey run a little bit too. That's when he had them highlights of dunking on one and thing like that. So he got them highlights sprinkled in and out. Maybe even Olympic Vince. That Olympic Vince that jumped over the 7-2.
Yeah, that might have been his
number
prime.
9 might be.
Yeah, that might have been his prime, man. But Ro, it's good to see you, man. It's good to have you here with these fire takes, man. Shout out to Ro, man. He's been really lifting us since he came aboard, and he's been solid with us all the time. Ro give us that comedy, but you know what? One thing Ro always brings too is he brings that deep dive analysis. So I appreciate you, Ro. Keep bringing the fire. Shout out to my man Chuck on the Wheels of Steel, the man that is behind the whole Mo Serious family, the top producer in the game. But without further ado, Chuck, let's get to it. We got 2 Monday night games, and we need to get this underdog fantasy going before we get into these topics. So let's let Chuck get into it. While you at it, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like and subscribe for DWB, Debate with Bake, Episode 3, Season 3. Hit us off with the fantasy, Chuck. Let's go.
Yo, we got Monday Night Football tonight. So we got Seattle versus Detroit. We got Miami versus Tennessee. Right. Okay. So what is that?
That was me.
Okay.
I accidentally hit
Oh,
Facebook thing.
Got you. I'm sitting like it sounded like we just heard.
Yeah, I accidentally hit it, man. I don't want, we don't need Cole going twice. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, Cole was quiet over there. Then I hear him going. I'm like, wait a minute. That was me. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my fault. That was the Bake with Bake fault. I accidentally went to my device to like the Debate with Bake episode, and it happens to be that Cole.
Okay, so let's start with DK. What y'all looking like for DK? What y'all thinking?
Man.
Is he gonna have higher than 66 receiving yards for this game?
I like it.
I think that's an easy bet there.
I like it.
What you think, Cole?
I think he gets the touchdown because it seems like that's Geno's favorite target.
Seems like DK is Geno's favorite target.
Has to be, right? Is Baldwin still there?
Nah, I think
no. What's his name? That they got the kid from Ohio State that's been starting to play.
Oh yeah. I can't think of his name. Good point, Cole. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's an NJ something.
That touchdown. You think he getting that touchdown in the first half or the first quarter?
Ooh, I would just say the game. I don't want to guess which one. Oh damn! I'd say first half.
Might be riding alone on that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to do the 60 yards. We can. They got a tough.
I feel safe with the whole game on that. I'm not. I mean, I know
the whole game, but I don't want to say first.
I know you expert at this. I know you like to bet a lot, but I'm not as.
I don't trust the numbers they're gonna put up.
Exactly, and I'm not as. Where they playing?
None of these bets they giving up right now.
And where they playing, Chuck? They can't be playing on the West Coast, right?
It's at Detroit.
Yeah, it's on the East Coast because it's the early game, right? Is it the first game?
No, second game.
Do you think he's gonna have higher than 5 catches?
Yeah. That's safe.
I like that.
That's more safe, I think. Yeah.
I'll go with that.
All right, cool.
I got Tyreek going for a touchdown.
Easy.
All right, so we're gonna come back to Tyreek. Let's do Geno.
Quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, by the way.
You think he's gonna have more than 250 yards?
I cannot do that. As much as I love him, I can't do that.
I think it's gonna be lower.
Yeah, I can't do that.
The reason why I say lower is because they got their running back today.
Well, I don't care if they had beast mode back there. I'm not going with him over 200. Is it 250 yards?
250.
Yeah, I can't do that. That's Mahomes' numbers, dude. Yeah, I can't do that.
And Detroit.
Do we think Tyreek is gonna have more than 51 yards receiving?
Yep.
Yes.
On one catch.
Yeah, exactly. That's easy. I think that's easy.
All right. And
so we should win some money on that, man. We ain't been winning. We ain't been collecting.
A little bit.
Okay, all right. Make sure I did.
We lost last week because I should have listened to Cole. I wasn't paying attention to the bet Cole when on the Patrick Mahomes joint.
Okay.
So, let's get.
I'm mad.
Huntley is their quarterback.
He played in Baltimore not too long ago.
I
Chase?
think he gets 200 yards.
I think his name Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, Tyler.
Oh yeah, the backup dude. Yeah, he got a lot of
With
promise.
the Ravens. I'd say he gets 200 yards.
You think he get what?
I think he's gonna break 200 yards tonight.
Passing.
You can put passing and rushing since they give you the both options. I feel safe with that.
Oh, that's Miami.
Yeah.
I'm taking over for Tua, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could rock with that. With that offense. Yeah. Okay. I could roll with that. I was hesitant, but at the end of the day, because of the offense, and I think they have to play like that, I could go with that. Yeah. And I like that kid. I really do. He kind of gives me a Malik Willis vibe a little bit. Willis might be a little bit more physical, but I like that kid.
Yeah,
right.
He looked
there
good.
We go.
Up,
we got our picks in, man. We hire on DK. We lower on Geno. We hire on Tyreek. We hire on Tyler Huntley. We just bet $10. We're trying to win $87.
Okay, cool. Perfect. I think we are. The panel is agreeing. Chuck is agreeing. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. We should, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm saying this to Underdog Fantasy. I'm saying this on the air. You guys should give us a call. Let's work out a deal, because what we bring to the table, and a lot of people ain't gonna say this, Underdog Fantasy, but they steal from us. I have proof that they do steal from us, but it's all good. Get on this train now while it's affordable, Underdog Fantasy. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. All right, let's get into it. We got a lot of business to talk about. It was a great sports weekend. Obviously, we won't be able to get to everything, but we are going to try to get to a couple of big stories and a couple of just interesting debates, because on this show, we don't just report the news. We bring up topics that make you think, okay, who is better than such and such? Who is better than such and such in their prime? But let's get into it. The current news, of course. Me and Cole talked about it. Cole sent it out. Rose sent it out on our little chat. Yes, the big news in the basketball world, training camp is starting. People are taking pictures. People are trying to get their rosters together in the association. So the top story tonight is the Knicks and Timberwolves have worked through a framework of a trade. It is final, I believe. And Cole, if I'm not right, you can correct me on that. But the Knicks are sending Julius Randle and Donte DiVincenzo to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Karl Anthony Towns. Now, the full trade details, don't quote me on this. The Knicks get Karl Anthony Towns. The Wolves get a trade package around Donte DiVincenzo and Julius Randle. Now, I know some more details to that trade, but this is the blockbuster trade that is dominating the preseason of the association right now. So let's go around on the panel. Let's get thoughts. Let's get concerns. I got two people I know that don't agree with the trade, and I think me and Cole do agree with the trade. Let's start with you, Cole. Talk about this trade. Number one, two, before you get into it, Cole, let's talk about the sentiments around New York, what it looks like around there as far as your local media, and then talk to us about your thoughts about this trade on Karl Anthony Towns coming to the Garden.
Man, people in New York are torn. I say a majority. I say it's like 60-40, 70-30, are for the trade. But there's a majority of the people that are hurt that, Randall's gone because they want to see him succeed, because there's been a lot of Randall haters. And then there's a lot of people hurt because of Donte DiVincenzo. He became one of the fan favorites. He was like the new John Starks for us. So I think over here we are hurt to see them leave, but at the same time, I think a lot of people are starting to feel like Cat is a better fit. He opens up the floor for everybody else. We haven't had a shooting center since Andre Bunyarny, and someone who can hit threes and spread the floor. And even then, that's he's not even on the level of Cat. So you could only imagine how much happier people are. But I will say, for the most part, we have championship title hopes over here in New York, and that's all we talk about, is being one of the top 2-3 teams in the East, and we're ready to get at it.
So, Cole, let me ask you this, because me and you briefly talked about this off the air. Is the expectation from you yourself, is it NBA Finals and nothing less? Let me put it let me ask another question. Can you guys win the East with this trade?
I think we can win the East. I think we could win the Finals. I think we could win it all. I'm still nervous about a couple teams out there. I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but I will. To answer your question, I will say for what we just did and for the money we're taking on with Cat, that 200 mil, it has to be the finals.
It has to be. And that should be the expectation in New York. I like the trade for two reasons. Number one, and we'll get to Ro. I know Ro and Chuck both don't agree with the trade. We talked a little bit briefly before we came on, but I agree with the trade because number one, I think with Karl Anthony Towns, to me, he underachieved in Minnesota. And what I mean by that is there is a high ceiling for his talent level. There has been games where he scored 40 plus points, 20 plus rebounds. He's shown us that. He's talented. He's won the 3-point contest. Now, knowing what I know about Ro is an old school big man, so that doesn't impress him. I understand that because I really want him under the basket and I want the high percentage shots. But if you look at the overall talent level of Karl Anthony Towns, I think he's in the same pool. People are going to think I'm crazy as a Anthony Davis, former college teammate of, well, I don't know if they're teammates, but they went to the same school, University of Kentucky. I think he's in that talent pool of Anthony Davis, even Embiid. And even people are going to get mad at me. I say Joker. Because here's the thing. What we got to remember about Karl Anthony Towns, is there anything that he can't do on the floor? Now, there are things that he should be doing more. Like I think he should be posting up, provide more of a post presence, getting more high percentage shots. He's capable of doing it, but he hasn't done it on a consistent basis. I can see this working out in terms of him doing that, getting more high percentage shots, but also I can imagine him and Jalen Brunson running that two-man game, pick and pop, pick and roll to a T in the playoffs. I love the trade because it gives you another option on offense that can get you a high percentage shot, but also consistently lock down the pick and pop, whether it be a 3 or 15-footer. I love this trade for the two-man game, Cole. I think this can work. I think even though it was budding in Minnesota, it could have probably worked with Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns for whatever reason. They decided to move on. But I think it works because here's the thing. I have nights now where I can rest Bronson. I don't have to run everything through Bronson. I believe Karl Anthony Towns can be a hub for an offense. He passes well. He shoots it well. He can even put the ball on the floor and go around people. So for what I just said, I think it's an excellent trade. Now, I am also hurt because I wanted to see Randall get a chance to run with Brunson, because I thought that could be some magic there. But people got to remember this. Karl Anthony Towns is 7 foot tall doing the things that he does. So I love the trade. Now, and I'm going to get to Ro. I know I talk a lot on this commentary, but let me say this for Karl Anthony Towns. And we'll talk about a little bit about this later because Big Perk talked about which 5 players, and we'll get to this subject later, who has the most to prove. I think he's in that conversation because here's the thing. There's no more excuses. All pieces are in place in New York. You have a superstar who's already there. Ant is coming. I think Ant is a superstar, but his campaign is continuing to grow. You have a superstar that's established in Jalen Brunson. You have defensive players. You have a guy, I think now in Bridges that is underrated as a two-way player. I think you have toughness. I think you have the coaching, even though I'm hard on Tibbs. I think all the pieces are there in New York. And here's the thing. Playing in New York is not like playing in Minnesota. People expect to win in New York. So he's going to have to come with it. I know he went through some adversity with his mother dying in Minnesota. During the COVID time. But here's the thing. There are no excuses in New York. The expectations are high. You got everything you need. You need to perform. So it's a lot of pressure on him because you can't use the excuse you use in Minnesota. Everybody's young and we trying to mesh. Nuh-uh. Everything is established. You're supposed to be the guy to get these guys out of the second round, which I still think the Knicks could have went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. You're supposed to be the guy, not only get them to the Eastern Conference Finals, but to the NBA Finals. Now, let's go to you, Ro. I know I talk a lot. Sometimes I get long-winded, but I had to get that out. What do you think? You seem not to really like the trade.
Not at all. Love you, Cat, but you soft as baby shit. The thing is, The one blaring deficiency that he's got is no rim protection. He's got this 7-foot frame. He got all these little man skills. He shoots the ball well. But where's your Eddie Curry? I know you Knicks fans remember that, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's Eddie Curry in the dude? I need to see some dog in the dude. Or else I see regression, inevitably. You know what I'm saying? Just unfortunately. I mean, he's a great fit anywhere. He's talented, of course. But if you can't disguise him behind or scheme around his defensive shortcomings, you got a tough road to hoe. And he's just not a hard enough. He's not hard enough nose to player. He's just soft. I mean,
but you agree
he's
that
saucy.
You agree the talent level there. It's just the softness.
Yeah, but
Okay.
see, it's that new phenomenon. Now, like you said, I'm a throwback. He has
Right.
and
I knew you
with
wasn't
all
gonna
these
like
little man skills,
Right.
and it's like that's commendable. But
Right.
let's not forget the
Right.
game God blessed you with. You 7 feet tall.
Right.
Give me a block every now and then. Y'all
That's a legit concern.
and you
too.
wasted
Yeah.
all that money in Minnesota because they brought in, Rudy to kind of disguise that. But I don't know. I hope the best for it because it's like I'm a dark horse Knick fan. You know what I'm saying? I think I echo the sentiment that they really heard about the DiVincenzo thing, even though they added Bridges because they was really stacking it with them Nova boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's going to look nasty.
And
But
I
That's
wonder-
one of my biggest problems with it. Like the homie Brunson took a pay cut to play with Donte and them.
Yep.
Yeah, but you also got to remember this though. You can't take this out. Yeah, he took a pay cut to pay for them, but Cat is 7 foot tall. You can as bad as it
How
sounds.
tall is Julius?
6'9".
6'10".
Probably 6'8". He's probably listed 6'9", but he probably 6'8".
And then you got to remember this too. At the end of the day, you're gonna always go for a 7 foot player. Now, don't get me wrong, Donte is special, but at the end of the day, he can be replaced. You can replace Donte with Bridges. Yeah, I mean Bridges makes up for a lot.
I'm just saying, if I'm Brunson, like run me my bread, fam.
Well, I mean,
Facts.
but you got to remember this. I get that, but that's your partner. This dude, you can't replace.
I'm
7
talking to the team.
Yeah,
I
but
took a pay cut to bring my partner on, and y'all got rid of my partner. So
we got rid of your partner to get a 7 footer that's in the top 10 talent.
run me my bread, fam.
You know what I mean? He better be on that boy ass in practice.
Nah, you gave away the
Yeah.
bread to sacrifice for the championship. So,
if they
and I'm pretty sure this. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure they ran this by Brunson. I don't think this trade happens if Brunson don't okay it. And it sounds crazy. But I'm telling you, he had to okay it. He had to okay it.
Think so?
Yeah, because
he making better
Tibbs
money.
had to okay it too. Tibbs probably had to say, "I want this."
well, but you got to remember. That's what I'm saying. Y'all got to remember this. And I'm stepping out. I don't know if this is true, but I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of Bronson. Yeah, that's my partner. But you also got to remember this. I'm trying to win a championship. And at the end of the day, no matter how much my partner mean to me, he's still coming off the bench. And this dude is 7 foot tall. We in the East. We got to challenge Embiid. Listen, the only reason why we losing to Embiid is because Embiid is not playing at his level.
But see, you need Mitch Robinson healthy for that. That's enough for that.
Yeah, but you still can run the fade. You still can
That's
run
true.
the
That's true.
fade with Karl Anthony Towns. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, at least with Karl Anthony Towns, ain't no excuses.
That's true. That's true.
It's just ain't no excuses. It's like, if anybody is doubting now more than ever, the Knicks are they're sending shock value to the league that we trying to win right now. Just like Philadelphia.
It's a statement.
They sending a statement. Like, we got a 7 footer. Yeah, we have Villanova in here hard, but guess what? We willing to get rid of one of our Villanova stars to get a 7 footer in here who has the talent, who has underperformed. He has. I'm not saying Karl Anthony Towns because he is soft, but you got to remember this. He's still 7 foot with a high talent. He has high talent.
Super high ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. So if anybody is ever questioned, I'm actually proud of New York. I mean, I hate to say that in front of Cole, but the truth is the truth. Like, they are swinging for the fences. Like, I always tell Cole for years, the problem I had with the Knicks is they always can get the glue guys, but they never get the guns. I would tell Cole that since college. I'm like, everybody takes from the Knicks because they got the guys that you can put on your team to make it glue. But now, more than ever, they got 2 legit superstars. I think Randall was on the way, but it's no question for me with Towns. you know. But I get it. I get what you're saying, Ro. I get what Chuck's saying because it's like, man, I just got all my Villanova brethren over here. But go ahead.
But I see a couple things. I see some I see talent behind there when it comes to what he can offer. Like just the ability, like you said, to pick and pop, to pick and roll, to isolate. But this is like one of the first few times where the Knicks are not playing 4-on-5 on offense, 3-on-5, because we have some player on the like Robinson who doesn't have no offensive moves. And if you take away the pick and roll, he's obsolete on the offense. He's great on defense, but at least with Cat, now there's no chilling for Embiid. We could pull him out to the 3-point line every single time. And if you switch him and say, hey, let's put him on Adenobi could cut to the basket or stay in the corner and shoot the three. Now we spread everybody out, and now we limit the impact that Embiid can have on the game. When it comes to he's 28 years old. He's younger than Randall. So he's going to have a little bit more longevity as well. So I see the benefit. And he played so good against Joker in the playoffs last year.
Right. He was a problem.
Yeah. He's gonna
and then think about this too. Just to
think about the age,
right?
The age is probably
right. And think about this too.
Factor here.
Think about this too. And I'm bringing home to you, Ro. If they want to, they can run the 94-95 Rockets offense. If Cat got it going on, he's a good enough passer where they could put 4 shooters around him and let him go one-on-one
and have him kick.
Right. At the same time, they can do a pick and roll up top and put 3 shooters on the outside. And they can go to, let's say, Bronson's strong hand is his left hand. They can run the pick and roll to the left-hand side. He can pull up, so it's so many things they can do on offense. Right. And then right now, other than maybe Boston, who can you say flat out, and don't mean nothing right now, it's preseason. Who can you say on paper right now in the East? Let's just talk about the East that is better than them right now, other than Boston. You don't know what Philadelphia has yet. You can look on paper and say maybe they're close. They can tie with New York. But that right now, you can't definitively say that Philadelphia is better than New York.
Yeah, I kind of been envisioning kind of a murder lineup where you start Robinson and play Cat at the 4. You slide OG down at the 3, and then you got a real big front line that people have a lot of problems with too. So
exactly.
Yeah, you got options. You got a point.
Right. I think I like the trade.
You want to know the most important option that I thought about after this too is if this doesn't work out, we can make a package of Bridges and OG and a Robinson for a Giannis or for
that's gonna hurt. That will definitely hurt. Right. But you're right. You do have options. You have trade options with this. You're right. You're 100%.
Booker, all types of players who teams might be looking to say, hey, we need to start over. We can offer 2 of the 3 guys or something just to get one of them. So that's the good part of this whole entire thing. And still be good.
Right. Good discussion. All right. Let's go to a sponsor segment, Chuck. Let's go ahead and hit our sponsors. Hit that like and subscribe at DWB and MoSerious.com. Let's get into it, and then we'll get back into the NFL. Let's go.
Men's Fragrance, your home for 100% authentic men's cologne. We carry high-end fragrances like Creed, YSL, Gucci, Polo, and more with below retail prices. All orders come with free shipping. Order online at mens-fragrance.net. Men's Fragrance. Smell good for less.
Stop. It's COVID, flu, and RSV season. Boost your immune system now.
Fortress was developed to provide key ingredients that provide such aid to the body's immune mechanisms.
So how do I fight COVID, the flu, and RSV?
So our job isn't to defend ourselves from things, it's to help support our body's natural immune system to begin with. And when you look at Fortress, that's exactly what we're after. Individually sourced ingredients that have been demonstrated to support our natural immune system and help our bodies just do a good job at what they're naturally meant to do. And that's why Fortress is a very nice combination of these independently sourced ingredients that can help support a healthy immune system.
Learn more about Fortress and natural ways to boost your immune system by clicking the link.
Shout out to the sponsors, man. You know, we got a lot of stuff at moserious.com. You can check out, you can smell good, and now you can even feel good with your health. Yeah, let me hold this bottle up, Chuck. Man, you know, I'm a health fit, health freak. People be looking at me and they like, man, you look like you on crack. But I'm okay. I'm just working out a lot and I changed my diet, okay? And I know when y'all look at, Chuck, when you look at that intro and you see me, the new intro you made, that fire, everybody like, damn, you big. They looking at me like that. Is he going through something? I'm good. All right. I just lost weight so I can stay alive. I got young kids. But anyway, speaking of health, yeah, the Fortress, man. Go check us out on moserious.com. If you want to keep your health, you don't have to quite look like me, but you can be on the way. But shout out to that, man. I like that, Chuck. I can smell good. I can feel good, and I can even put on my Mo City hat.
Well, and the truth about the
check
Fortress,
it out,
because I take it daily. It's a daily supplement, but that's why I don't get sick, fam.
Okay, all right. Well, then we doing that on DWB. We got stuff. When we not only, you can wear the hat, you can wear the hood, you can smell good, and now you can live longer. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Feed your mind and your body, baby.
Feed your mind and your body. Speaking of looking good, let's get to the
breaking news, though. Breaking news. Pete Rose dies at 83, man.
Golly, man. So we got Mutombo. We got Pete Rose. Man, it's been a year. Shout out to my man. MLB kind of blackballed him, but shout out to Pete Rose, man. Definitely a Hall of Famer. One of my best. We'll do a shout out to all the legends later. When we get down to the shout outs. But man, appreciate that, Cole. Appreciate that clip. I saw that on Facebook. I didn't know who they was talking about. So Hey, everybody needs to love on their loved ones, man. We're losing a lot of people this year. So, shout out to the sports world. Shout out to another legend, Pete Rose. All right, let's get into the National Football League. Let's get into some current NFL topics. All right. I want to ask this question because I think both guys in a sense, are kind of underachieving for me. But I want to ask this question. Quarterback debate right now, not 2 years ago, true or false, Dak Prescott is better than Joe Burrow. Let's start with you, Ro.
False.
False. Right now at this particular time in the NFL. Not overall. Not body of work right now.
Body of work, 1, 2, 3, 4 fever. No, not at all.
Even right now.
Not at all. Not last year. Not the year before. Not when Burrow sat out all year. Nah. I'm sorry. Dak puts up numbers here and there. Y'all get wins here and there. Is it really a mandate on a referendum on how? I mean, never mind. I'm gonna sit this one now. Nah.
Tell us why. You think his skill set?
Yeah, he did. He has a different skill set. Burrow is capable of giving you more. It's inherently Cincinnati's fault that Burrow is not succeeding right now. To be honest.
Okay.
Whereas with Dak, Cowboys dead in the water regardless. They're like a lame duck president.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate with that, because regardless of what you say about Dak Prescott, he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and it sounds crazy that I'm saying this in a regular season. His regular season record, other than Burrow's Super Bowl run, many could argue that is Burrow really better than him just based on that one season? Because has he really separated himself from a quarterback like Dak Prescott?
I mean, they got similar situations. Look at it like this. They both in a tough NFC East and then a AFC East too. You know what I'm saying?
AFC North.
AFC North.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's still a tough conference.
Yes, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? So has Joe underachieved, or is it just necessarily a break? See, with Dak is, like you said, he's regular season ready. He's the pace car. He ain't ever going to give you nothing clutch, apparently. Until he proves that fact wrong, I don't give a fuck. Excuse me. I don't care nothing about
man, well, you can cuss on here.
I care very little about Dak Prescott's contributions on or off the field as far as that. His Campbell soup commercial, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Set him down. I mean, they need a whipping boy. They need somebody to blame, and I ain't mad at that, and it's like, I'm not a Dak hater either. I'll simply call a spade a spade. Y'all boys in trouble in November. I mean, we come see y'all in November. We'll figure out who y'all rocking with then, but, all
right, Cole.
I rock with Joe Cool.
Cole, what you got right now, currently in the NFL, right now, true or false, is Dak better than Joe Burrow? Right now.
I think they're a tie. To be honest with you, I think they're If you go body of work, I'm going Joe Burrow. If you
Of
say right
course.
now, I just really don't think either one is separated each other have separated themselves from each other. I think they both have their teams underachieving. I think they're both very talented. I think where Burrow's a better passer, Dak is a better improviser. So I think there's things that each one does a little bit better than the other. So I can't say one's better than the other. I have to say they're about a tie right now. They're even.
Right. I would say right now, of course, and I have to side with Roby. Of course, I think Burrow has the better overall skill set.
He don't turn the ball over as much as Dak either.
That's debatable. But you might be right. I don't have the numbers in front of me. But I just think right now, and to add to this, it's like for me, the Cowboys and the Bengals are not they're not meeting up to the expectations.
Yeah, they ain't setting the world on fire.
Right. I had the Bengals doing a lot better. Some people would say if you play devil's advocate, the Bengals always start off slow. So you can't tell. I mean, I might have to side with Cole on this one because at the end of the day, it's like right now they're playing about the same. And what I mean by that is they've shown flashes, but at the end of the day, I think both of them has turned the ball over too much. I think I'm more disappointed in Burrow just because he's coming off of injury and I know he's rested. I just had high expectations for Burrow. But then again, if you look at, the history of Cincinnati, they do start off better. They always start off slow, rather.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about Burrow is this. It's like, I don't know, man. I expected them to set the world on fire in Cincinnati with him coming back. And so he looks mediocre to me right now. He's not the Joe Burrow that I was expecting. I expected higher numbers.
I'll tell you what happened. It was the T Higgins contract deal going on, and then Jamar Chase contract deal going on. Because if you notice, they paid CD quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They fought it a little bit with Dak. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when it got down, Burrow taken care of. So I placed the blame squarely on the front.
Right,
not having that.
And that's a good point because that's a question I want to ask. Why would Cincinnati drag their feet on both receivers?
Because they cheap. They cheap just like Dak was. I mean, just like Dallas was with Dak and CD.
All right, well, let me. Okay, great point, Ro. Let me take that to Cole because that's one of the things he talks about a lot as far as being a GM. I love when Cole puts on his GM hat. Do you support that? I know how you feel about the GM, Cole. I know how you feel about getting the bang for your buck. Why would Cincinnati drag their feet on these receivers?
They're known to have a history of not paying their players. And I think with this new collective bargaining agreement where you could franchise a player twice, I think they're not in a rush to do that. And I think when the time comes, they'll use them all the way to the end, and then they'll trade one of them for a first or second round or third round pick. So I can't be mad at management for them utilizing the double franchise rule. But at the same time, they're also put themselves in a place where the market keeps getting higher and higher with Jefferson and then with CD Lamb that, they're going to lose one of them now. So it's a matter of who they're going to move on. But I do think what contributed to what's his name's Burrow's slow start was the fact that CD Lamb was injured. And I also think the same thing for Prescott was that CD Lamb, not CD Lamb, T Higgins was injured.
Talking about T Higgins, right? Cincinnati, right?
And
but you're talking about CD Lamb for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and then CD Lamb for the Cowboys missed all the training camp. So I think that kind of messed up both offenses in regards to building a chemistry and so forth. So I think both of them off to a slow start, playing rather pedestrian. But at the same time, I think that both of them are okay. I think they'll be okay by the end of the season.
Like I said, Cincinnati is known for a slow start. I also think Cincinnati gives me vibes because here's the thing. And I could be totally wrong. I could be coming from a place of ignorance, but it's like they let Joe Mixon walk. And I'm sitting there watching him for us like, wow. And maybe a new situation is why Mixon is playing so well with us. But I'm like, you let it. And I get it. People don't want to pay for running backs. I get it. But Cincinnati is giving me the vibe that they just believe with Joe Cool that anybody can come through that door and a running back and a receiver. So the fact that they dragging their feet on these receivers, and I think they got two excellent receivers, and the fact that they just flat out, and I know Joe has some issues off the field, that can affect that. But they let him walk. And I'm like, thank you here in Houston. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I think they really believe that they think Joe Burrow has the Mahomes effect. It's like we can put anybody out there. That's just my theory. But anyway, let's keep moving right on. All right. Last night's game said a lot, and I almost took this topic off here, but I'm like, who are you taking right now as your QB, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? Because last night Baltimore sent a statement in terms of who's better. Now, it's early in the season. Baltimore looked great. But let's start with you, Cole. If you're starting your franchise right now, who are you going with? You going Lamar or Josh Allen? Because this has been somewhat of a debate on this show. Go ahead.
It's hard. It's hard for me because I've been a Lamar Jackson fan since college, but I think I'll go with Josh Allen, and I say that because I just feel like he's a better passer than Lamar. I think Lamar's a better runner, and it's even hard for me to say sometimes he's a better runner because I think Allen can run with power. He barely fumbles the ball when he's hit. I think it's hard. It's a real hard debate, but I'm probably going with Allen. I think Lamar has way more tools and talent to go with that offense than what Allen's doing. I think what Allen's doing to start the season with a bunch of no names and spreading the ball around and making people better than what they are, I think is a testament to how good he is.
Buffalo
they're
believes.
neck and neck. Don't get me wrong. They're neck and neck. I don't think you go wrong with either, but for me, I think I'm going with Josh Allen. I think he's a better passer.
All right, Ro.
Yeah, I'm walking it back, man. I'm gonna leave you on the island, Cole. I ain't gonna lie, man. I got to rock with Lamar this time, man.
Exactly.
Lamar has proven a hell of a lot. The last two, the Dallas destruction, as well as this Buffalo game just now, in the head-to-head. I gotta get it, man. It's flowers, man. Lamar is it, man. Lamar is working better than expected a whole lot sooner than I intended for it to work out. Baltimore was looking scary. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and let me play devil's advocate on that, Ro. I'm going to stay with you because I watched it last night and I said to myself, of course, Lamar. But again, I got to give the organization a lot of credit because it's how they got him set up. I mean, Derrick Henry, God forbid, it's the way they running it. Like, and shout out to their organization because here's the thing. They're not letting Lamar gunsling it, but he is still throwing the ball. He's making great throws, but
he's taking everything they give him.
Right, exactly. And they're like they still have a package where he just does design runs. And it is a hell of a thing to try to stop when you got that and Henry.
Is Ozzie Newsome still the GM up there?
I cannot remember.
Ozzie retired.
Ozzie retired?
But
either way it go, they
the system that they got the system that they got in place. So that's why I asked that question.
They give them both 5 more years. They give Henry and
exactly. It's the way they running it. Is it the system, or is Lamar truly, in your opinion, bro? Do you think he's better than Josh right now?
Right now, today, yes. Today, yes. I think he's
talent, man.
Right, and I think that he's actually a lot more refined as a passer. He looks like he been in camp. He looks like it was a great camp, a great off season.
Right.
He's tweaked. He's made the minor tweaks and his mechanics and everything else. Because I mean, he stuck with the ultimate thing at the end of every season. It's like, what could I have done better? What could I have done more?
Right.
And it looks like he got in the lab and did that to me. I mean, so far, the jury ain't out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, his body looks good. His decision making looks. It looks like he's quick with the ball. He's not turning it over. He had a turnover last night, but they just look like a well-oiled machine. Now, to Cole's credit, Josh is still a tough guy. And kudos to Baltimore because kudos to Buffalo because I think they feeling how I just talked about with Cincinnati, how Cincinnati feels with Burrow. It's like they let Diggs go, they let everybody walk, and they believe in Josh. Yeah. So I'm gonna roll with Lamar simply because I think they're similar in skills. I could definitely understand what Cole is saying as far as Allen being a better passer, but Lamar looks great. But some of that I'm going to attribute to that system that Lamar is playing in. I think they've done a hell of a job as far as the offensive coordinator and the philosophy for Lamar. Now, for me, what I need Lamar to understand is this. They paid Mahomes $44 million. They paid you $46. If they paid you $46 million, do what you need to do. Don't worry about being a pocket passer because here's the thing. Mahomes, and I get it. Some people are going to say, hey, Mahomes is light-skinned. He has the freedom to be who he wants to be for those people who want to have that discussion. But for me, Lamar, it's this. They paid you $46 million, okay, a year. Don't worry about being a pocket passer. Be what you were last night. Do both. Run and throw. Don't worry about the narrative of people looking at you because I think that's why they lost last year in the playoffs. I think he tried to be too much of a pocket passer when do both. And I think that's when Baltimore's at his best, when he does both. I could be wrong.
They're taking nothing away from Allen because it's like with Allen's tools in his frame, it's like he's built to be a gun. He's like 6'5", 6'6",
right.
6'30". It's like
the only thing I don't like about Allen, he gives me, and it's a good thing. It's just my opinion. It's a good thing though, because Cole is gonna come back on this. Allen gives me the Brett Favre vibes, the gunslinger. You know, sometimes he tries to do too much, but you love that about him. You don't want to tame that, but at the same time, right. But you don't want to turn the ball over. That's my only criticism about Brett Favre is like, man, you know, he's got a lot of guts and he's willing to do, but sometimes he does too much. And it's like, go ahead.
That's why I feel like the last 2 years, people haven't given him credit because I believe that he's actually calmed down. He's only taken what was there.
But if he does that, I think so. Yeah. I just think sometimes he tries to force it too much. But that's what Buffalo pays him for. Mm-hmm. They trust his ability. And he has to play like that sometimes, you know?
I would love to see them make a trade because I think there's going to be a couple teams that if they don't win the next couple games, they need to come off their receivers, like Tennessee, like the Raiders. I think like a Hopkins or Devontae Adams or something like that on a Buffalo would be a nice little pickup to go with what they currently have because that Shakira kid is up and coming.
It would because I know Adams is frustrated out there in Vegas. Mm-hmm. He is. I mean, it's apparent, you know.
Amari Cooper, it's a laundry list.
Yeah.
Be on the move.
Maybe Buffalo, because I really thought it was odd for them to let Diggs go, but I understand. Thank you, Buffalo.
Because I will say this: I think outside of Henry, I think Moss might be the second most impactful running back in the league. If you watch him this year, that boy be definitely a problem.
Yeah, definitely a debate, but we'll see. We'll see what Buffalo can do. They have a chance to bring in players when you got I think he's a top 5 quarterback. That's just my opinion, Josh Allen. All right. I got to get down to this because I know I don't know if I can get Cole on this, but I'm going to see if I can give him the bite. Is Baker Mayfield a top 10 quarterback right now? Let's go with you, Cole.
Right now. Yes, he is. Yes,
all right, what order? Tell us the order he's in right now as far as top 10 and why he makes top 10.
Right now. So right off the bat, you take Mahomes, you take Jackson, you take Allen. Those three is number one. And you take Daniels, who might be somewhere in between. He's top 5. Daniels in Washington, he's top 5
and ladies and gentlemen, he's talking about use that for the Commanders because a lot of people don't know. Right.
Yeah, you got Stroud as number in the top 5. I think those right there, top 5. Then you got Love.
That's 6.
And you got Darnold, which I ain't gonna say he's better than Mayfield, but I would say he's top 10.
Right now, Minnesota's got him. That's definitely he's playing like a top 10.
You got Brock Purdy. You have I don't know if you say Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott them right now are better than Baker Mayfield. I don't even know if you say Burrow right now is better than Baker Mayfield. Based off of reputation. But right now, currently.
So for sure, you saying Mahomes, Jackson, Allen,
Daniel Stroud,
Purdy. Do you say Burrow's better?
I say Burrow's better. We know Burrow's better.
All right, let me throw a monkey wrench in there. Is Herbert better right now in LA? The Chargers.
I can't say because even if you go for body of work, has he even made the playoffs since he's been in the league?
Yeah, he made the playoffs. They haven't done nothing in the playoffs. Yeah, Herbert's made the playoffs.
Or Derek Carr. Let's get it a little bit more interesting.
Is Derek Carr better than Baker? I think Herbert is better than Baker. I really do. I think it's no.
Herbert has more talent than Baker. Herbert does have more talent.
He's done more than Baker.
I don't know if he has. He might only have one playoff appearance. I'll ask AI later how many playoff appearances he has, but I would take Baker right now as a top 10. I would just say I don't think there's 10 quarterbacks better.
So you saying that he's better than Herbert to you right now?
We said Mahomes, we said Allen,
No, don't go through the order. I'm asking you a specific question. You saying that Baker Mayfield is better than Justin Herbert right now? I want you to say it on the air. I want you to stick your chest out there.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that he has the same amount of talent, but he's playing better. But he's hurt. Herbert's hurt. I'm not gonna say that with Herbert being hurt. Okay. Herbert is a more talented quarterback. If you want to ask me, he's a more talented quarterback.
All right, Ro.
My man is top 10 right now.
Ro, is he top 10?
I mean, he is. The way his command of the offense right now, I got him in the top 10, I guess. I can arguably be a hater and knock him out of there easily. But
he's better than Goff. He's better than Stafford right now.
Wait. He's not better than Goff. Goff's gonna play a little bit.
Right now, he's better than Goff. If you put him on Detroit.
I don't know.
No, stop.
I don't know.
He's not better than Stafford either. You throw Stafford out there on a legacy case, and
let me give y'all what this year though. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Dak, Joe Burrow. They got him at number 5.
I'm telling you.
Justin Herbert.
Thank you.
Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford, Trevor Lawrence, and then Jared Goff at number 10.
Trevor Lawrence is not better than him.
Nah, I can tell. Yeah. I'm be hating on Cole, but he's right. Trevor Lawrence can't be there right now.
Nah, I agree. He shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Hurts is not a better passer than him.
See, that's the
Joe
debate.
Burrow?
That's the debate.
Hurts is not a better passer. Hurts is a better athlete. Hurts is a better athlete. He's not a better passer.
That's a debate.
Like Baker got them boys humming, but I think he was getting carried away. I watch when Andy Dalton and them hang an L on them boys. You're not gonna be able to say that too much longer. But I'm a hater. I'm the Grinch. You know what I'm saying when it comes to Baker. But I got no problem giving credit where credit is due. But he gonna let you down. He might get to the first round.
I mean, based on the way Tampa Bay is looking, it's very, very convincing that he deserves to be in the top 10 right now. Because at the end of the day, you still got to get the ball to those Hall of Fame receivers. I mean, Godwin, the jury is still out, but I know Mike Evans is definitely going. Right now, the way Tampa Bay is looking, they only lost one game, and so you could argue that. You could argue that. As of right now, and that's what the question is saying right now. Yes, he could be in the top 10 right now. Now, whether or not he finishes that, we'll see. But I think it's debatable if he's better than Herbert. I think it's debatable. It's debatable with him and Stafford. Right now, he's probably playing better than Stafford right now.
Yeah, he's playing better. He's playing better than what's his name because he's injured. But he's not better than Love, but he's better than Love right now.
Right. Now, let me ask you this because I know this is one of your favorites, Cole. Do you take him over Malik Willis? Because I know you're high on Malik Willis.
I would take him over Malik Willis. I actually think Baker Mayfield is a really solid quarterback that he doesn't get credit for. He now has a foundation where he has a solid coach, a solid team, great amount of vets, and I think that comes into one of the reasons why he's winning. And I think they'll make the playoffs. They probably win their division as well.
Well, I mean, that ain't saying much. Well, they got to go through New Orleans. They got to go through New Orleans. New Orleans looks good. But we'll see. I agree right now he's a top 10 quarterback. I don't feel bad stepping out on that. I don't think he'll finish like that because we know he's going to choke. He always chokes. But, I'm not going to be a hater. Right now, he's a top 10 quarterback. I can't say for sure there's 9 quarterbacks better than him right now. I can't say that. I can't say that right now. Maybe 5, 6, but playing better than him right now, the way Tampa Bay is winning, rather. And they did a job on the Eagles yesterday, and I have to give him credit. All right. Right now, who impressed? Who impressed you so far in week 4? Let's start with you, Cole, and then we'll go to Ro. Anybody stick out to you, whether it be a player or a team right now this week that impressed you?
I say Jaden Daniels, man. You passing that 80-something% after 4 weeks, and then this week what he did, he looks like he looked like he was made to play this game, man. Like the moment doesn't seem too big. He's accurate. The players look like they love playing with him. He reminds me a little bit of Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady when they first started. They just have a great command of the game and a great command of the offense. And his what you call is dialing it up. His offensive coordinator. I just feel like they put him in positions to be very successful. But at the same time, he's executing whatever it is they're telling him. And he's executing at a high level. He looks like you're going at his pace and not at the pace of anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Ro, who you got? You could do player or a team.
Yeah, I'm racking with King Henry just for. Got to bring King Henry. He deserves special acknowledgement for that because I ain't seen him wheels looking that good since the first couple of years in Tennessee.
Yeah, he looks good.
He's crazy right now. And then shout outs to, the gratification of having a bona fide number one receiver on our team, which is still debatable because Nico's still killing it too. But the acquisition of Stephon Diggs has been monumental.
Right. The offset that they have to pay attention to him. I would agree with that. That's a great pick.
Nico is a problem, though. Nico's a problem.
Oh, it's just crazy.
Nico is nuts. He might be the best receiver in the league, yo.
And then shout out to special acknowledgement from a boy CJ, man. CJ, another masterful performance. I don't like that everybody's giving us their best shot, and he's coming down to the last play.
Used to that, though.
But yeah, I like what my captain is doing, man. I really like what his captain's doing.
I'll tell you what, for me, you both those are both great picks. Even roll with the team with CJ and the Texans, and then I was gonna say King Henry. And then, of course, Cole, the Commanders, they are surprising me. The Commanders, I knew that kid was good, but I didn't think he would be that. He just impresses me with his composure. Mm-hmm. But I'm still going to roll with, and I've told people this all the time, I'm just impressed with the Vikings, man. Yeah. I listen, I told everybody when we played the Bears, I said, listen, that's not going to be an easy game because I believe in the back of my mind, as crazy as it sounds, I believe the NFC North is the best conference in football. Yeah. And I knew we were going to struggle with Chicago. I knew, and when I say we, I'm talking about the Texans, because I just think that division is going to beat up on each other. I am just so impressed how they are moving Sam Darnold. And what I mean by that is they have found a package. They have found an offense that fits him. And they're and every team should do this. Every coach, especially in the NFL. Everybody wants to be the Belichicks. I'm glad that era is over. But what can you say about a coach who designs an offense or a play or a scheme that highlights a player's strengths and hides his weaknesses? Sam Darnold looks like a totally different quarterback to me in Minnesota.
Absolutely.
And they are designing things to keep him out of trouble, but they've got a hot shot receiver to make him for him to take chances down the field. But they're not letting him try to do too much in terms of how he's moving that ball around. And I'm impressed with their defense. Their defense is a no-nonsense defense. So I'm just impressed with Minnesota.
You think that if McCarthy didn't go down, that they would be having the same look?
I don't know. That's a great question. And that's up for debate. But I just think that they're a well-oiled machine.
I'd keep racking with Donald.
Yeah, I think they're a well-oiled machine. And I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I've just been impressed with them. We haven't won up there yet. And the way they did us that week shows me that they definitely can get. I mean, they went to the playoffs and win the division with Cousins.
That was humbling, and not to mention all the talent we didn't got off them boys,
exactly.
Like on the defensive side of the ball.
Exactly. I mean, I just think I'm just so impressed with them. I really am. I'm impressed with Minnesota. So keep up the good work. All right, let's move to the NBA news. One of the biggest things that's surrounding the basketball world is that Derrick Rose has officially announced his retirement from the National Basketball Association. Now, his resume includes the following. He averaged 17.4 points, a game for a career 3.2 rebounds and 5.2 assists for his career. Let me go down his resume before we play a little bit of highlights. He was a 2011 MVP. He was all NBA first team. He was a 3-time All-Star, 2009 Rookie of the Year, and of course, he was all rookie first team. And we'll get to the question next, but let's have Chuck give us some highlights.
News out of the NBA. Derrick Rose has retired, and he lived it all in the NBA, from the high of becoming the youngest MVP in NBA history to the low of missing the better part of 2.5 seasons with an ACL injury. And today, after 16 seasons, Rose has called it quits. And now joining her show from the Seaport in New York, Malika Andrews has been holding it down. The seat's warm for you for tomorrow. But first things first, you spoke with D. Rose about his retirement. What did he tell you about this decision?
Yeah, Cassidy, I'm hoping as a Chicago girl, I know the entire city is feeling it, that you can appreciate this. He said that, you know what, he's taking some comfort in the fact that he gave it his all. He gave basketball everything for 16 seasons, and now he feels like he needs to give that to his kids, to his family.
Well said, Malika.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Shout out to ESPN. They continue to do a good job. Shout out to Malika. But yes, okay, so he's retiring after 16 seasons. Now, you know, a question I always got to ask, because again, it's debatable. Is he a Hall of Famer? Is he a Hall of Famer? Everybody who's tuning in right now, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. You can also get in the chat. But let's start with you, Rode. Do you put him in the Hall of Fame?
You know what? At first I was second guessing it, but with the accolades right in front of me, I say yeah. And if not first team, second, definitely a second.
And
team.
is it something in particular when you talk about the accolades? Is it something that stands out to you that made you kind of say, for sure he's in?
Well, it's the litmus test, because it's like I say to myself, oh wait, can I honestly have said he was the best point guard for any amount of time? You know what I'm saying?
It's a great point.
During his run,
right? And
I can say emphatically, the MVP season, the rookie season, maybe even a little before that, he's shown us greatness in a whole lot of different ways. And it's that I don't think the 17.4 points per game is reflective at all over his body of work. I saw him put in work in Minnesota. I saw him put in work all over the place. And it's like, to overcome that kind of adversity and that type of injury, granted the explosiveness of his game, can't do nothing but tip your cap to that guy and give him his flowers. He's in for sure.
Cole, what do you think?
Boys in on less.
Do you think does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
I think he definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I think that his body of work early in his career supersedes anything else. I think if you put someone who, like, let's say even Carmelo Anthony in the Hall of Fame, or the 50 greatest players or whatever like that, I think you have to put Derrick Rose. He was a MVP in this league, a Rookie of the Year in this league. I think you have to. I think he deserves it, and I think he's the one person I would give an exception to, based off how his career went down. It wasn't so much of his talent being lost, but how his career went down.
Right.
That makes no sense. Because I think on the other end, like someone like Dwight Howard, I might say no, but for Rose, I would probably say yes.
Well, for me, you know, I was iffy on this, and the reason why I'm iffy on it, I thought about Penny Hardaway. I'm like, you know what? The years that he was on top, in particular Penny, he was one of the best in the league. And so, but for me, Penny didn't have enough body of work. And first I said that about D Rose, but then I reconsidered, because here's the thing. Rookie of the Year and MVP. Those two things stick out to me. Mm-hmm. How many players, no matter how long they played, have been a Rookie of the Year and MVP? Consider the position. Point guard at that. A point guard being the most valuable player in the NBA. Okay, that sticks out to me. And then when I think about those times, in particular the Chicago Bull run, I think that was the MVP run. I think that also was the Rookie of the Year run, if I'm not correct. But LeBron ran the East.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, he
challenged MVP in years when Kobe was still alive.
Right.
He did that. He
Right,
did that
right.
with Joakim Noah.
Right. And just but
Dean.
in particular, that's for me, that's when LeBron was starting to rise to the peak of his powers. Remember, LeBron ran the East for years. Remember, they kept saying that he couldn't win a championship because they were saying once you face the West, LeBron, what can you do? And so for him to challenge the Cavaliers, meaning Derrick Rose, yeah, I think so. And impact. For me, him and Russ, the athletic point guard, the big athletic point guard. And for me, he even shot the ball better than Russ. So when I think about that, in particular, when I look at this resume, when I think about the Rookie of the Year and the MVP, and again, it is the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. He took Memphis, I believe, under Calipari to the national championship game. And so, yes, I do think he gets in. I do think he gets in just based off of how many people can say they were Rookie of the Year and MVP of the league. And then how many people can say as a point guard, you can do that. Now you're talking about Big O, because even though Russ, and I'm just naming Russ because I like to compare Russ to D Rose as far as athleticism, but Russ wasn't Rookie of the Year. He was MVP and then he had to average a triple-double to be MVP. And that's no knock on Russ. It's one of my favorite players. But I think Rose should get in. I think Rose should definitely get in. Just being Rookie of the Year and MVP, his impact, his ability to challenge LeBron James, to me, when LeBron was getting at the height of his powers in the Eastern Conference, I think Derrick Rose should get in. But, we'll see. All right, which scenario happens first in the NBA? Steph retires, Wemby gets the MVP, the Wizards make the playoffs, or Joel Embiid wins an NBA championship in Philadelphia. Let's start with you, Cole. Which scenario happens first in your opinion? This is a tough one.
I think what was the one for Wemby? Wins MVP?
Yep. So you got Steph retires, Wemby wins the MVP, Wizards make playoffs, Joel Embiid wins an NBA championship in Philadelphia. Which happens?
I say Wemby wins MVP.
Really?
I think Wemby wins MVP.
So you saying that soon he wins the MVP?
I think it happens in the next 3 years. I don't see Steph retiring for another 2-3 years. I don't see Embiid winning it this year because the Knicks are in his way.
And we just totally disregarding DC, right? Should they even have basketball in DC?
Unless they get Cooper Flag,
should we just, because it was hard for me to put this on the list, but it's like, should we even really think about DC in basketball other than the whole?
I actually think they're the New York Jets of the NBA, because the Jets is trash sometimes, man. Like it's hard. We haven't made the playoffs in how many years since Rex Ryan? Like, I can't even remember when anymore. Like, it's
I might think the Wizards. I mean, the Wizards, have they been significant since John Wall? I mean, they have been bad.
They had one good season when Bill led the league in scoring or something like that.
That's right. Bill did put him over the top. Ro, what do you think? Which scenario happens first? Steph retires, MVP for Wemby, Wizards make the playoffs, and B wins the NBA championship in Philly.
Yeah, I think the MVP with Wemby looking pretty enticing on that list.
Okay.
The thing is, I think that Olympic defeat and lit a fire under that boy, and he gonna come back with something.
Great point.
For the NBA.
Great point, because he took that hard.
He was crying.
He
was balling. The kid was balling. So, yeah, I think we lit a fire under Wemby. Steph ain't got no reason to hang it up. They can run him off picks the rest of his life, and he can be productive on the 45, 46 years old if he wants.
Right.
The Wizards, nulling for it. And as far as Embiid winning the NBA championship, I'm not sure it'll happen in Philly, but I mean, you got to see how it's going to shake, but I just don't think it's likely. It's too new.
Yeah.
The old heads, the old powers that be aren't going to let that materialize go on really well.
It's kind of like if you go to Vegas, what would you put your money on? Can't concentrate on Steph retiring. We don't see anything that shows that he's slowing down. I mean, the Wizards are a disaster in DC. It's either the MVP or Embiid. Now, like you said before we got on the air roll, They say Embiid is 20 pounds down. I'm not going to lie. If Towns is what I think he can become in New York, I think that may derail or possibly be a roadblock for Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers. Because here's the thing. Maxey is surging. Embiid is all about his conditioning. And I'm not, people can say what they want. I'm not sold on Paul George. I think he's a great player. He's got a chance to be a Hall of Famer. I just don't know what he has left. I think he has a lot left, but I just don't know what that looks like.
You feel me? He ain't got half the resume that D Rose got.
Exactly.
Well, good thing for Paul George is that I think in that Philly situation, he literally is Chris Bosh, right? He is number 3 over there behind Max.
And that may prolong his career.
And help him there. So he ain't dependent on him as much.
But again, when I see Towns, because see, here's the thing in New York. I just believe this is all Bronson need. What concerned me about New York is them running Bronson in the ground.
You think that New York team with its current new makeup can deal with Boston? Because it's still about the Celtics.
Yeah, I think we can deal with Boston.
Yes.
I think Tatum is too inconsistent.
Because see, you got to look at it like this. And I know Boston is loaded.
Loaded.
But you got to remember this. Again, I'm kind of wishing on a magic bottle, a genie rather. But if Towns can get the mindset of getting that high percentage shot in the post on a consistent basis, who does Boston have other than Porzingis? They're not trying to run Porzingis out there to be able to have to guard him every possession. It's a matchup nightmare for the East. I'm telling you. And you can run him in different situations. See, it's not like he's a Shaq where he's just going to sit in the paint. Even though it's a high percentage shot, this guy can roll out. And here's the thing. As soft as he says, and Ro got a great point, it's still the East. He still can make shots even if he ain't under the basket. He can make shots. And if Boston and Philadelphia, they struggled a little bit with New York with just Bronson, just imagine if you don't have to play Bronson. Because what I worried about, and I tell Cole this all the time, every offensive possession, Bronson had to make something happen, whether it was scoring, passing, setting up anybody.
That's how they run out of gas.
That's how he runs out of gas. And it's hard to do that at 6'1". That's why I think the world of Bronson.
He's playing 40, 42 minutes.
Exactly. And so now you have somebody who can relieve that scoring load. And he happens to be 7 foot tall and skilled. I think New York. And then think about this. Think about the Bridges pickup. Think about another year with OG. And then your offense changes. Your offense changed because we can run a 2-man game. We can post Towns up. Towns is an excellent passer. He don't mind passing it. I think it's a problem, even for Boston, because Boston, you got to make a decision. If Towns is doing what I think he's capable of doing, okay, even with Bronson, who you going to put on him? You're going to have to put Brown on him at some point, okay? Okay, you can throw Holiday at him. But you don't want it. If you want to keep Holiday in the game, Brown is going to have to see him a little bit.
Right. I think Holiday is top tier.
He is, but you don't
defensive.
He is top tier defensive, but you got to remember this dude has the ball in his hand all the time.
I know.
So
and I think as long as Brunson in the game, they're gonna have Holiday in, right?
Yeah, but you can't count on Holiday as great as he is. Nobody wants to count on anybody in the NBA guarding somebody one-on-one for 40 minutes. I don't care how good you are. He's gonna eventually get in foul trouble, or they're gonna have to run anybody that plays against New York. Ask anybody to play. They gotta run bodies at Brunson. You can't just say stick with him. Holiday is going to be the best matchup.
Guard that boy by committee.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's going to create. But now, where you could throw 3 bodies at him, now you got to worry about Towns. Because here's the thing with Brown, he can guard anybody. You think they ain't going to run Brown at Towns? Because if you just got Porzingis, who else you going to put on him? You got to run bodies at Towns. So it's gonna be a matchup problem. And then Bridges, if he making open shots, he getting out on the floor. I think New York, yeah. I just think it's gonna be a problem, even for Boston. I just think because you running the pick and roll, you running the pick and pop, you can post him up one-on-one. You can let Bronson do what he did last year.
You got athletic slashers.
Exactly. You can run the floor with Bridges. You can, so I just think Towns opens up so much for them. Of course. Yeah. If Boston is gonna be there, of course. You got two wings that can do what they do. But at the end of the day, Philadelphia, if Embiid comes in shape, it's gonna be a problem for Boston with Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Because both of those guys are 7-foot guys that can do anything. That's gonna be a matchup problem for anybody. Anybody, of course. Yeah, I think Boston, yes. I think the East right now is Boston, Philadelphia, and New York.
Plain as day.
Plain as day. And no disrespect to
Giannis and Dame.
Yeah, I think
Dame,
exactly.
Cleveland,
because even then, you got to deal with Towns, you got to deal with Embiid, you got to deal with them. You got to deal with them. So yeah, of course. All right, let's get to a few more that we got to get up out of here. All right. Let's go to some throwback questions and then we'll get out of here. Pick one to build your franchise around with these point guards. Throwback. Isaiah Thomas, Steve Nash, or John Stockton. Who do you build your franchise around? Let's start with you, Ro. You got to pick one of them. And you can say the peak for all three of them. Who do you start your franchise with and why?
That information technology, man, at IT, man. Isaiah Thomas, easy.
Easy.
I like what Stockton did. I don't even say I liked it. I can appreciate what Stockton did and was able to do with his body, working his resume in Utah. Not taking anything away. I always preferred Magic. I like real point guard. Steve Nash also, so it's like a Corvette with a Miata engine. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, it's gonna get you there. It's gonna get you popping. Your craft is nice, but at the end of the day, you were probably a better soccer player than a basketball player.
Oh, man. Don't knock my man. Does he have a ring?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay.
He might have come. He might have came to
He
Dallas.
came close. Right.
Nah,
did he ever play in the NBA Finals? I don't think he did.
Because his heyday was in
Probably Phoenix was his heyday, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you going Isaiah Thomas? You going with Zeke?
Mm-hmm.
Cole, who do you think?
I'm going with Zeke as well. I think I in my late 80s, early 90s of watching basketball and watching Isaiah and them bad boy Pistons, Isaiah was one of the few point guards that scored, played defense, assisted, even seen him dunk a few times. But he could score on anybody. He was unstoppable. He had this grit that other players didn't have. Like he didn't care if he was playing against Magic, Michael, Bird. He would bring it. And I think Stockton and Nash, they could definitely assist and lead teams. And I can act, and I know Nash could get buckets too, because there was games Nash was putting up 40 every single night. But I just think the way
he got MVP season. That's true.
Go ahead, Cole.
But I do think the way Isaiah did it was a little bit different. He got ugly with it. And I remember that game he played with a sprained ankle. So I got to go with Isaiah, man.
And I try not to be biased to the 80s, but I got to go Isaiah Thomas simply because for all of you younger cats, like how many people beat the Lakers and the Celtics in that time and kept the Bulls?
There might have been only one.
Right.
There might have been only one.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate him for the long-standing feud he got with Michael.
Right. And then
wouldn't shake his hand.
And then even other than Magic, and the only reason why I could say Magic is better than him is size. Just because Magic was 6'9".
He was a problem.
But if Magic was 6 foot, Isaiah, you know what I'm saying? Not to say, and that's kind of an unfair statement, but I think you have to build your franchise around Isaiah Thomas just because of it's not just the skill set. It's like Cole said, it's like you said too, Ro. It's the attitude. Mm-hmm. He represented that Detroit Piston team. So
they've been searching for identity ever since.
Right. All right. Greatest NBA player in each decade. Thoughts? Do we agree with this? Kareem 70s, 80s Magic, 90s Jordan, 1000s Kobe, 10s LeBron, 20s Jokic. Cole, you agree with that list?
I think I think you might have to say LeBron went across 2 decades, yo. As much as I be hating on LeBron,
better than Kobe. Better than Kobe. Because here's the thing: Kobe won 3 in the thousands with Shaq.
I think he shares it with Kobe.
The thousands?
I think he shares it with Kobe. Kobe.
I think you're being unfair. I think you could throw Tim in there as much as wrote on Tim.
That's true.
Because the Spurs dominated. If anybody shares it in the thousands, I think it's Tim. That's just my opinion.
I give you that. I could definitely agree with that argument. I can't say you could say Jokic, but
we still in it.
Yeah, we still in it.
We still. I'm just saying. So far, people could argue it's Jokic's decade right now, right?
Right now, he's probably been the best player of this decade.
Right.
Yeah.
Ro, you agree with this list? 70s Kareem, 80s Magic, 90s Jordans.
Minor tweaks. I would swap out Kareem for maybe Wilt or somebody for the 70s.
Arguable.
I think so.
Arguable.
I think that's arguable. And then,
70s, yeah, arguable.
And then
because Kareem really won in the 80s. He did win in the 70s, I think, with the big O. That's my fault, Joe.
As far as Jokic goes, I'm wiping Jokic. He's still a work in progress. He's ascended during the 2020s.
Who you putting in that space, bro?
I go with Cole. You can slide LeBron down there. Steph deserves some consideration.
I forgot about Steph, yo.
It's a couple guys deserve some consideration right up in there. I mean, Kobe just has to be there. You have to give Kobe something.
Right. Exactly. Right.
So it's like, I ain't got no problem with him. We're giving him my eyes getting bad. I thought this is night. I would say, damn, Kobe, yeah. Now, because it's like I would hyphenate that and put Timmy in there in any order, maybe up to 2010.
You could argue Timmy in the thousands. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I ain't got no problem with this list too bad. It's solid.
All right, let's stay within some throwback stuff and then we'll get out of here. Who has the greatest all-time squad? Lakers, Spurs, Warriors, Celtics. And when we say all-time, you can take anybody from any of these squads and put them on a team. Think about all the greats from the Lakers, Spurs, Warriors, Celtics.
I'm thinking about them Spurs hard because you got that Iceman.
You can put anybody on the team, Cole. You can put Iceman with Timmy, David Robinson, or the Lakers. You can go Wilt from the Lakers with Shaq. You can go Kobe. You can go Magic. Greatest all-time squad.
The greatest all-time squad got to be those.
The Bulls have enough. Other than the
Bulls with the 73 wins, yo.
Yeah, but I'm saying when we say all-time, like you could take guys from like in the 80s, like the video game. You could take Jerry West and put him on the same team as Kobe with the Lakers. The greatest all-time
squad. I have to be the Lakers with Worthy, Byron Scott, Magic, Kareem, and I think
Shaq. And you can bring Kobe off the bench.
Yeah, you also had Perkins. You had Earl. You had Campbell. You had Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones, Nick Van Exel. Nick was nasty.
Yeah, so I think we are.
Nick at night.
Yeah,
boy.
All right, let's do one more statement in basketball and let's move on. All right. There's no deeper team in the NBA than us. Rockets owner Tillman Fertitta says. Cole, you might have an issue with that. You think anybody deeper than the Rockets?
This current year's Rockets?
Yeah.
I think y'all have some really good young talent. I really like y'all. I just think y'all miss a superstar.
Okay, but who's deeper than us?
I think OKC's deeper.
That's an argument. I thought about that too. That's an argument.
I think
you could argue it.
I actually think Minnesota it has a deep team too. They got some young bench players.
Even with the trade.
Even with the trade, they got some young bench players, yo. They got Dillingham. They got that Shannon kid from Illinois. They got a Reed. They got Gobert. They got Conley. They got McDaniels. They got a nice little deep squad. Who else?
So you think Minnesota's deeper than us?
I think Minnesota's deeper.
Okay.
I think OKC's deeper.
Okay. That's got to be it. Nobody else can be deeper than us right now. We don't know about San Antonio. That's a question. We don't know yet about San Antonio. But for what we know, you think Minnesota and OKC is the only teams I think that's significantly or just as deep as us.
Deeper wise, as far as talent, double people at double positions. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
y'all got some talent. Y'all got some people that I think y'all might have to trade to get.
yeah, we are. We got too much. What do you think, Ro? You agree with that? Minnesota and OKC might be the only teams
They the
deeper
only
than
ones
us.
that can challenge. Other than that, we got a war chest that'll rival anybody right now. I'm telling you, because it's like, amen can go. We got the right twin.
Yeah.
Not enough can be said about Cam Whitmore. Like you said, a lot of these boys gonna be playing for the Rio Grande Vipers for a little while, but they're gonna be right back. I'm telling you, we got a lot to look forward to. We really got a lot to look forward to.
Let's hit a boxing question. Let's hit one college football question and we get out of here. Pacquiao and Crawford, who wins this matchup at 147, 2018? Let's go, Ro. Let's start with you. Pacquiao and Crawford, 2018. Who wins this matchup at 147?
You know what? I'm a legacy, and I followed Pac-Man for a long time, but I got to rock with that Bud, man. I think Bud could get him.
Think about Pacquiao.
Yeah, it's a monster. That's a monster.
8-punch combinations.
Yo, for sure. And I haven't seen Bud step in there with the kind of
competition.
Bud hadn't had the same kind of wars to this point.
Right, and that's not his fault.
Exactly.
Right, that's not Bud's fault. But you ride with Bud. Fantasy madness, man. All right. Cole. Prime Pacquiao, prime Crawford.
I'm gonna go with Crawford, and the reason why I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna go with Crawford is for the simple fact that when I saw Pacquiao fight Mayweather and someone of that caliber and skill, Crawford has the same exact caliber and skill, and I think that's something that Pacquiao can't handle.
I'm gonna slightly disagree with that, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna slightly disagree.
That's my reason. I think that he has just as much skill as a Mayweather, which he can outbox Pacquiao. Pacquiao can box. Don't get me wrong. He's like a more natural, talented boxer. But I feel like when it comes to skill of boxing and having strategy, I think that Crawford would beat him based off of that.
And let's not forget the questionable chin, man. One man where Marquez slid that boy, man. That was a light. I mean, I gotten used to seeing Pac at 147 and bigger than that. And then you got this little stuffed up super, you know what I'm saying? One man, just sleep you. I slept, embarrassed.
Yeah, he did. But they had 4 fights. But here's the thing. I think Pacquiao fought better competition. See, the thing about Terrence and Floyd, it's a different kind of skill. See, Terrence, I think Floyd is the all-time one of the most skilled because if you watch Floyd versus Canelo,
he was a master boxer.
Right. And think about it. I've never seen, even when B-Ball beat Canelo, it was different. But Floyd does not get hit. Terrence, because he can punch so hard, Terrence will let you hit him. I think Terrence has a better chin than Floyd, even though Floyd didn't get, But see, the thing about Terrence don't mind getting hit. Floyd didn't get hit.
See, and I think he's a better finisher than Floyd was.
Yeah, he's got more power and he's a better athlete. I just can't see Terrence doing Pacquiao like Floyd did. Because Floyd didn't get hit. You know what I'm saying? I see Terrence standing in there and Pacquiao, say what you want. The 8-punch combination, I don't know, man. I don't know. And Pacquiao, I don't know, Terrence just hit so hard, man. I don't know. It's a tough one. I can't even say it. That's why I put it there. I don't know.
Tough fantasy matchup.
All right. One more, and then we're going to do our shout-outs. Do we agree with the statement from Matt Chadwick about concerning college football? I don't give up what Colorado record is at the end of the year. Travis Hunter is the Heisman Trophy winner right now.
I ain't got no problem with it. I ain't got no problem with that statement.
Cole.
I wanna agree, but when I watched Cam Ward in Miami,
is that the kid from Miami?
Yeah,
kid, listen, man. He'll be on the panel. He gonna be on the panel if they continue. They 4-0 But the thing about it, man, think about it. He's special, but Travis playing both, man.
They might have Cole Heisman this year.
The closest thing is it Charles Woodson.
Yeah. He played little kick return, little receiver, seemed like a little bit, but Travis Hunter is gifted, man.
Yeah, and he's playing like 90% of all snaps. Like, it's crazy.
He's playing both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
They can't get enough NIL money to pay that buck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's why he deserves it.
If I'm him, sometimes I'm like, maybe I won't go to the NFL yet. Like, I'm making enough money there. Like, that's the difference with these players now. Like, you can stay in college a little longer. Yeah. You got to think like, hey, if I go to NBA, I might play the bench. If I
Right.
stay at Duke, if I stay at North Carolina, I'll get paid $2 million, $3 million a year.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I like the kid. I like the kid in Miami. And Miami's on a historic comeback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with Travis being a Heisman just because we don't see what he's doing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see that. I can give him that just for playing both sides of the ball. Because Heisman's supposed to be the best player in college football, right?
Yeah.
Now, even though the kid is playing great in Miami, and there's some other kids that are doing good, is there anybody that you can say is playing better than Travis Hunter?
Not in this fashion. This is unlike anything we've seen.
Anybody playing better than him?
I think
now you might have somebody that's playing better than him on
Alabama, the Milroe kid. Those two are playing at the same level.
Yeah, but remember this: Travis is playing two sides of the ball,
which is where I would give him the edge.
Right.
But I think overall what's going to keep him from, if he doesn't win it, is going to be record.
True. That's a good point. All right, let's get to the shout outs, man. We got to get out of here. All right, let's go to Chuck. Let me give my shout outs and then we'll get to my man Mount Mutombo, man. Shout out to the WNBA 2024 All Defensive First Team, DeJohnny Carrington, Nafisa Collier, who was actually the Defensive Player of the Year, Audra Wilson, and Easy McBohr, and Breonna Stewart. Shout out to Nafisa, like I said, Collier, who ties the WNBA record for most points in a playoff game. I think she got like 42 points, and she just got the Defensive Player of the Year. Want to give a shout out to my hometown Houston Astros for becoming the American League West champions once again. Let's give a shout out and a rest in peace to Dikembe Mutombo, who was reported earlier today died from brain cancer. And let's give a shout out to him and his family. Let's get about 10 seconds of silence, Chuck, for Dikembe Mutombo, who also played here for the Houston Rockets for a small period of time.
And West with the miss on the dunk shot. Akbar slashes in, and Mutombo denies it at the basket.
Seattle by 1. 10 seconds on the shot clock. John Kemp trying to do it one-on-one block. Dikembe reloads it. He knew Dikembe was there, and he wasn't even close on that shot.
Well, he handles him. He gives him a problem around the lane. Here's Larry Brown's philosophy here tonight with Matt Gallagher.
Rejected by Mutombo. Dikembe, Marvin's an excellent help defender. He knows the defensive guidelines, and he is going to go to the front of that rim, any kind of penetration.
Good D by Jackson, but very nice.
Simpkins, and a great block by Mutombo.
Jim Jackson gives up some inches, but Dikembe Mutombo has his back.
Shrimp gets the booze. He has been the villain physically of the Sonics. And Mutombo comes over to swat it away. Kendall Gill, Mutombo again takes care of that one. And the first standing ovation in the first 42 seconds of the game. Quick move by Hill. Mutombo with a little finger wave to the crowd. Leading shot blocker in the NBA. And the finish.
I think Mutombo just woke up.
Came up with the little flipper, and Dikembe Mutombo eats that for lunch, and Dikembe not settling for just the defensive play.
2-point game for the Rockets.
And better than 6 different shot clock and game clock. That's a pass to Swift. His shot was blocked by Mutombo. The fans want to go dead. Blocked again by Mutombo, and the Rockets come up with it with 14 seconds left. Dikembe Mutombo has 4 blocks in the game. He got 2 on that play.
There's a feed. Jordan blocked away by Mutombo. Jordan lost that ball going up, but Dikembe right there, perfect timing on that block.
Running hook, blocked by Mutombo. Morning, blocked by Dikembe again.
That's the old Dikembe from 10 years ago.
Hoya paranoia.
Williams in the penetration, and it's knocked away by Mutombo, but into the hands of Peterson and Antonio Davis off the rim.
Shout out, man.
This
is
a cluster.
Word.
Rest in peace to arguably the best shot blocker of all time. My question before we get out of here, guys, what do you think was his prime? Was it? I think it was out of Atlanta, Philadelphia, and of course Denver. What do you think was his prime? Go with you, Ro, first.
Ready made out of Denver. We got to give him a special shout for knocking off them Sonics.
That's right. Because we couldn't beat them.
We could not beat.
We could not beat them.
If not for an 8 seed beating the 1 seed
Right,
that
right,
year,
right.
we would have never been.
We
So,
could not get
special
past them.
shouts.
They were a bad matchup for us in Houston.
Special
Cole, what do you think is his prime years?
I definitely have to say to Denver. Now that you made me think about it, I feel like the next time I go home to Buffalo, man, I got to see if I could find my Dikembe Mutombo jersey. It's probably in a closet somewhere.
Right.
That was my first NBA jersey. Actually, was the Dikembe Mutombo, man.
That's right.
I got that Chris Jackson. I love that nugget.
It was
That's
a
right.
champion,
You know what?
jersey. Sell champion.
We were saying this earlier about how Shaq was horrible in Boston, right? And how Dream was horrible in Toronto. Dikembe wasn't bad in Houston, fam.
Nowhere.
Not bad in Houston.
Not even Houston, nowhere. He played for a lot of teams that I don't ever remember him really falling off like Dream or Shaq.
Georgetown was an exclusive company.
Right. So shout out to my man, rest in peace. And I want to give a shout out to him and his family. And also shout out to him for the work that he did off the floor. He built a lot of hospitals in Africa. He was a big advocate for public health. And so shout out and rest in peace to Dikembe Mutombo. For all of you who tuned in tonight, for giving us a thumbs up, go and hit that like and subscribe. We appreciate you supporting DWB Debate with Bake podcast. Please go check us out on MoSerious.com. Check out the rest of the Mo Serious family. But RIP to my man Dikembe Mutombo. Shout out to my man Cole in New York holding it down.
Pete Rose too.
RIP to Pete Rose as well. And shout out to my man Ro to my left here, always bringing that fire. Shout out to Chuck, the whole Mo Serious family, man. We appreciate you. We appreciate your support. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. We are the Sports Center of MoSerious.com. And shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Check us out next week for episode 4 on season 3. Chuck hit us with the outro, and we are gone. And we appreciate you.
Season 3, Debate with Bake Sports Show. We coming live from the Mo. You know how we go. We talking basketball, football, and boxing. You got something to say, man? Jump up in them comments. We gon' keep it real with opinions and facts. Let's look at the stats. Well, that settles that. It ain't no hating. We just debating, interviewing guests so we can learn how they operating. Give you our perspective in a way that's captivating. Another sports show to put in your rotation. See, Bake choose the topics, everybody looking. Laro got the commentary and he keep it cooking. Cole with the game, he coming live from Brooklyn. You know, it's the most serious production. We giving game free, so tap in and see. Season 3, DWB, MSC.
So that's, that's big, man.